pop culture. Everything is permitted.
Welcome to episode 113 of Everything is Permitted here at the OG EIP Studios. I am your captain and host, Julian Brown, alongside my co-host, the man of steel, Matt Reppert, and the master of puns, Brittany Tomes. How we doing?
Brittany's expression.
I got my finger on the button.
Well, now I'm just laughing because everybody's laughing.
No, just Brittany's expression just pretty much.
I'm just excited. I'm just excited. No jokes.
Okay, I'm excited too. We have a special guest today, part of our EIP social media team, frequent contributor, Mr. Rob Macavity, Migliaccio. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Hello. How are you?
You know, the moon's not falling, so
Much,
we're good.
I'm glad.
So much better than cats.
Remember when
I'm glad Cats had such an indelible impact on this podcast.
Remember when the moon played a big role in Cats, though? The jellicles.
It's a jellicle moon.
Memory, all alone in the moonfall.
This week, guys, we had so much fun with Bargain Bin last week. Well, shit, we decided to do it again at the movies. Second only Bargain Bin movie at the movie theater, I think, right, Matt?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I think Cats was our first, and this was our second.
That's right, guys. We're going to review the latest Roland Emerich disaster fetish movie, Moonfall. God save us all. God did not save them. Samuel Tarly did, but we'll get to that. Spoilers.
Yeah.
We're also going to break down the full-length trailer for the upcoming Halo series. I had to. I'm sorry.
Oh my
Like
god!
you spit it up, you're like, okay, gotta go faster.
Gotta go
for the
faster.
audience.
That's coming from Paramount Plus. And of course, we have a review of episode 2 of Snowpiercer season 3. But before we do all that fun stuff, Brittany, we need to thank our EIP VIPs.
Our EIP VIP is so amazing, we'd send them to the moon to protect us from the moonfall. So shout out to our special astronauts, Billy Peets, Nikki Veazey, Heather Reppert, Rob Migliaccio, who's right here.
What? God, it's amazing.
Michael Cox, Matt Moore, Cabria Wimbush, Rob Carter, and Kyle and Connor McClinton. I think they'd survive.
I think they
moonfall.
would.
Yeah.
I think they would.
I feel like they'd have a bunker somewhere.
They would.
A bunker somewhere.
Or, you know, a random mine like in Ghostbusters. Oh, boy. All right, guys. Yeah, let's get into some rants and raves. Who's got something this week?
I'm trying to remember what I was going to talk about now. I got to take a minute.
Is it Resident Alien? Because I watched the first episode. And that
Yeah,
was
well, I
fun.
watched the second episode too, but I still enjoy that. But I wasn't going to do that because I already did that.
For me, it's still just going to be The Legend of Vox Machina. They dropped another 3 episodes this week, and I just love it. I love it. It's so good. I can't get the songs out of my head. This week's episodes are really dark because it's a really dark arc that they're in, that they weren't in the show that they basically animated. Whew. Amazing animation, though. Like, so good. I'm so glad. It's awesome.
Nice.
That's all I'm going to say.
Nice. Rob, any rants or raves this week?
The episode of The Mandalorian, Boba Fett.
Just
was
no spoilers because someone
freaking
hasn't
awesome.
seen it yet.
Why not?
Because she's a very busy
I
woman.
know, she's a very busy woman.
I'm too busy watching Critical Role.
Yeah, right? What a jerk. No, freaking awesome. Rave, I actually went through kind of what you've done before with Comcast and fighting with them. I haven't cut. I've talked with them.
Lightly nicked.
Yeah, I talked with them. I got to cut down my bill. It's freaking ridiculous. And they were like, "Oh, we can cut down your bill and give you more." So why the fuck aren't you giving it to me
right now?
right away?
Did
Like,
they do
you
that
should be
thing where they
recall-
started adding more and charging you for stuff that you never agreed to?
No.
Okay.
No,
They did that to us, and that's
Yeah.
why we finally cut.
They just pulled that shit with my dad.
Luckily, they didn't, because then they're turn around and they're like, "Well, you can keep cutting more." I threatened them, quote unquote, of leaving, and they're like, "Well, we can do a little bit more for you." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. What else?" And they're like, "Well, have you thought about taking away one of your TVs and using a streaming app if you have a smart TV?" Well, no, I haven't. Well, you should really try that out. It's an awesome streaming app now. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll give it a shot. Why not? And it's still in freaking beta on on the Fire Stick. And it's just like, whatever. Like, you can just kiss my ass at this point.
The best thing is that
Comcast, kiss my ass.
Threats aren't empty anymore. People are cutting the cord and cutting cables.
If all honesty, if I was like on my own, I would do it.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I hate how Comcast has such a grip on our area, though. It's so hard. Like, I know you can switch to, like, Verizon, like, Fios and stuff, but it's just, like, Philly is just, like, Comcast is rooted in Philly.
Yeah.
Comcast Delphia.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Xfinity and Comcast do good things for the community.
They do, and their service is good.
Its service has been getting better.
They're just super expensive.
Exactly. It should not be costing that much.
No, it should not.
Shouldn't Comcast that much.
I have to give a quick shout out to one of my old friends, Jared Marley, who commented on our Moonfall post that we were at the movie saying, "You're going to need a really good drilling team and a bunch of nukes." To which I say, we almost got the nukes. It didn't quite happen. We were almost there.
And the drilling happened pretty early on.
Trying to think.
Just not us.
Was
the thing that happened to the moon. The thing drilled. I don't want to spoil it.
In the very beginning?
Yes, that.
The giant hole in the
Sorry. My bad. Any other rants or raves, Matt?
Yeah, all right. So I know that we're going to cover it briefly in the Permitted Minute, but with Sony acquiring Bungie, it's funny. I'm actually excited about it because apparently, and I know I shared the article in the chat and I was looking for it. Oh, yeah, there it is. So the League of Legends animation director has joined Bungie to make Destiny movies and TV. And if they can do an animated Destiny thing like Arcane, I'm all in on that shit.
Ready.
Like I'm
ready.
Like I would kill for that. I would love that.
Ready.
Speaking of Arcane, I saw a tweet today. I just have to share with the audience. The tweet said something like, "Oh, of course you're free on Valentine's Day because you watched Arcane 3 times." And I was like, "Just at me next time, okay?"
But yeah, it's funny because I consider myself essentially an Xbox fanboy, but I'm excited for what this could mean for Destiny, its lore, and all that. And I've seen some people kind of react in such a negative fashion to it, and it's like I don't get it. If you're a fan, because I mean Bungie is a notoriously finicky studio anyway about being acquired, because obviously they were under Microsoft's thumb like 20 years ago.
Yep.
They broke off from that, and I already know some people have predicted that in sometime down the road they're going to break off from Sony again because they don't like being bound to a big developer for long periods of time.
I was watching Dado's video on the whole thing, and he seems pretty convinced that they're going to stick around simply because they've already had a good working relationship before, and apparently Sony is throwing a shit ton of money at the developers to stay.
Yeah,
so when they're saying, "Hey, we value you, and here's the money to prove it," that's pretty awesome.
Well, part of that though is because of how Bungie has run the live service of Destiny. They want to kind of convert that, which please do not. Yeah. Please don't do that. Yeah. No more live service shit. But anyway, sorry.
No, it's cool. I'm excited about it. But
as long as employees get fair pay, I don't care.
Yep, same. I was gonna rave, but about Mando, but I'm going to hold off till next week because we will do our big Boba Fett review when the series concludes next week. Anyway,
is it next week?
It's next week.
We're gonna close the book on it.
It's Brittany, bitch.
Been waiting. I've been waiting.
The book of Brittany Fett. Let's go.
Raves. That finished my Realm Walker seal.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I woke up like after you'd already got it done, but
you failed us. It's okay. No, I'm kidding. That was fun. That was exciting to get.
I need to get him through Shattered Throne though, because he told me he's never done that.
We got to do that. Not a whole lot going on this week. I've been super busy. So, Destiny. I'm gonna finish Guardians of the Galaxy this week, and I have 1 chapter left. So. And I got that game, Chorus, and I started playing it. It's fun. The controls I got to get used to.
It takes some getting used to, but once you kind of start mastering the powers of the ship and all that, then you feel like a complete badass.
Yeah. So, good times. Anything else? Any other rants or raves or happiness or happy goings or things? No. Then, my friends, it is time for
the Permitted Minute that falls from the sky, much like the moon.
Per minute, over. Incoming. 5 minutes.
Give me your damn key. Give me your key. It's the permitted minute.
My ex-wife has never let me down.
Never let me down. It is the permitted minute, and we are going to go here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Gatus, start the clock.
Amazon has released over 20 new posters of a variety of different characters for their upcoming Lord of the Rings series, The Rings of Power.
In an earnings meeting with EA, CEO Andrew Wilson said that Battlefield 2042, quote, did not meet expectations. No duh, dude. No duh. While Sony has come out and said it wasn't a direct answer to Microsoft's acquisition of Activision, they did purchase Halo and Destiny developer Bungie this past week for over $3.5 billion.
Ahead of the upcoming Disney Plus series, Obi-Wan Kenobi will receive his own comic series. The run will follow Kenobi's time as a Padawan, his time as a general in the Clone Wars, and as a Jedi Master, among other things.
The upcoming Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League game has been pushed back to 2023. Blame King Shark and his fake mustache. It hurts to type these words, but yes, Paramount has greenlit Scream 6. Why in the name of Wes Craven? Why?
Originally slated for a March release, The Orville Season 3, also known as New Horizons, is set to premiere on Hulu June 2nd. With about 6 seconds left, we were actually getting a little close there.
The Orville, New Horizons, Forbidden West.
Yes.
Julian, did you see we have I believe a month for Obi-Wan release?
No,
I think
a month?
No, I think it came. I think they said I think I saw it saying it's coming out in May.
Are you saying there's one month? There Kenobi
God
be
damn it,
one.
Stop. Yeah, I think I saw it. I don't know if it's
Well, let us know.
viable.
I can't
Let us
believe
know.
it's
thought about
been
that.
that quick.
Mother of God.
All right, before she goes off anymore, let's get right into it. Snowpiercer chugs along on that rail, just keeps going, keeps putting track down. It does. It does. It is
It's laying track.
laying track.
I was like, this sounds like it's going to be dirty, but it's not. He's like just plowing through that snow. Thrusters at full speed. Laying that pipe. Track.
It is our review of Season 3, Episode 2, The Last to Go. And Matt, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on this week's episode of Snowpiercer.
So this was another build-up episode. However, I didn't like parts of it because I really have come to dislike what's her face and what's his face,
is it
the
LJ?
night car, LJ and
Oswald.
Oswald. Yeah, they're two characters at this point.
Cobblepot.
Yeah, shut up, both of you. God damn it. But both of their characters at this point to me are so disconnected from the main story. They serve like almost no purpose to the show at this stage, I'd argue.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, just this episode was a way to like get them back in the show a little bit for Wilford to kind of, use their quote happy event and such to kind of further his own agenda. And once again, Sean Bean. He kills it in pretty much every
Killed it this
scene.
episode.
But yeah, I wasn't a fan of the two of them, kind of having a harder or bigger role in this. As I said, because at this point, I'm just kind of done with their characters, and I don't really see the point in including them.
I see why they're important to him. They are kind of, well, at least LJ is the last like beacon of like first class, right? And Wilford, even though things are not going well right now, I think wants to get that back once the trains are reconnected. So she's kind of an in, and like Wilford, she is a master manipulator. So I think he wants a second, and right now that's LJ. So I get it. Are they my favorite characters? No, but I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Any other thoughts?
No, we can keep going.
Britt.
Oh boy, do I have thoughts. So I agree that the whole, I think it's LJ and Oz, like the marriage thing, I get why it had to happen because Wilford scheming is amazing.
Yeah.
So I was here for the Wilford scheming. Don't really care much about their characters. Loved that Oz actually says like, can you stop with your goddamn scheming?
Yes.
Like this is
Yeah.
our marriage. Like, what are you doing? So I like that he kind of snapped because he's not a very likable character. He does some terrible things in season 1. But when will Melanie return from war? I'm just kidding. She'll come back eventually.
No, I'm with you.
I miss her. But in the meantime, Ruthie baby.
Yeah.
Okay, Ruth is the heart and soul of this damn train right now. And the fact that she was willing to lose her arm for the revolution, she turned herself in after their EMP like sabotage, which is pretty fun.
Yes.
And that was awesome when they got it off the train and it exploded, and then the other train now has the drop, and you're like, ah! But when I tell you, like, part of me was like, I knew they were going to come in time to save her because they saw the signal.
Yeah.
But then part of me was also like, but what if they do chop off
do
Ruth's
it,
arm?
yeah.
What if it just barely they don't get there in time? I was like, will the show do this to Ruth? Please no. But God, her acting, that actress is so good. The character is amazing. Every time they tweet about stuff since Melanie hasn't returned yet, I'm just like, but Ruth though, and they're like, yes, Ruth's character development is great. I'm like, thanks, Snowpiercer TM. God, I just love her whole arc is so amazing, and the fact that like she was about to get her arm chopped off, and it was that whole thing where they're like, we never told you to do this. We had the ports there to scare people.
Oh,
It's
well,
like,
oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
know. It was so manipulative, and I'm just like, you definitely, that's what you made her believe they were for. Like,
Still, like,
Yeah.
holy shit, the line delivery from Sean Bean
Oh,
there.
yeah.
I was just like,
you're like, you are a sick man.
dude. And I love Ruth's line.
Yeah.
Ruth's line. Right as they're about to do it, she's like, "Let's just get it over with."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Just
did
like,
like that.
I like how he's like, we're going to do it high enough that you can't have like
prosthetic.
prosthetics, and she was like, I wouldn't wear one anyway.
Yeah.
Like, she is like that when she's sitting in the cell and they're going head to head like that, and she doesn't bat an eye, and the EMP goes off, and he's like, what the fuck? And then she's like, oh, what was that?
And the best part about that is that whole time she's still calling him sir
Yep.
to get in his head, and I'm like,
And the fact that she says it's about love and I care for people on this train, like, she's like, you lead by fear, and she's like, I lead with love. She's so fucking good.
she is.
But
She is.
the part where her arm was going to go through the little portcullis thing,
Yep.
whatever, and the rest of revolutionaries were looking at her like, we will jump right now, and she shook her head no. I was just like, fucking Ruth. Fucking Ruth was like, it's not worth it. Don't put your lives on the line for my damn arm. And you're
Yeah.
like, I fucking will die for you, Ruth.
She's the best.
So yeah, for that, the episode was like, damn.
Yeah.
Ruthie holding it. She clutch.
It shows with Ruth, her character, even like when you first met her up to this point now, she will do everything and anything for the train.
Yep.
She would do anything for those passengers, whether it is getting a freaking cup of tea for them in first class, all the way up to saying, hey, stop. Let me go ahead, take my hit. Don't screw it up yet.
Yep.
Just
hold on to that
don't
hope.
screw it up. You have your chance. Let me be right now.
Yeah.
Ah, Ruth.
Keep going. Your thoughts on this episode?
Fucking fantastic. I enjoyed it. I remember seeing Matt's post on the chat saying that the
nut grabbing scene.
yeah
That
just
was like, what the fuck?
It was
you know what?
excellent television.
It was excellent.
What part
because
was that? I mean,
when he's
Blanking.
right before the wedding when
Yeah,
he's
with
talking
talking to Oz.
Yeah, he's talking to Oz,
Oh,
and he
yeah,
like
yeah,
he's like,
sorry,
oh,
yeah.
now grab mine. Like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
god.
yeah.
But you know what? That shows honestly, like he has like everything. He has everything on power, and that just shows him being like, yeah, I run this train, but I got
Yeah. I
yeah.
literally got
It was
you
more
involved.
to me. It showed like that Wilford's more of a masochist because he's just like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
is that all you got? Like, come on, you can squeeze harder than that.
Yeah, and also it kind of plays into like Oz in the first season. Remember how he was kind of like sexual offendery?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like intrigue. Look how the tables have turned.
You know, I loved.
The ball's in his hands now.
Oh,
Ball's in his court.
Oh no! I don't
the
even.
jokes write themselves, guys.
no, you know, I really
Should
loved.
we use that anymore? Like, because Kevin Sorbo is a fucking douche. I don't know. It's still
It's
a good
funny because he
soundbite.
messed up. That's why it's a
Yeah.
great soundbite.
True.
But I think one of the best, the best scenes besides all anything with Ruth in it, with any wedding scenes that they had, there was the one character, the one doctor. She was holding on to the shoes
Bootstraps, bootstraps.
of her husband, who of course Wilfred freaking killed. And it was just like, it was cool to see that because it just shows like she still cares, yet she's still very for Wilfred and will stand with Wilfred. Yet at the same-
Brainwashed, probably like
that's-
Kevin.
yeah.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
same time, it's just like I'm holding on. I will not, forget this. But the wedding scene was great. Just a great episode. I can't wait to see what happens next week because it looks like
next week
freaking
should be
all out war. I mean, I know something crazy is going to happen next week. I have a feeling. Who knows?
Someone's gonna die. It's gonna happen.
Somebody's probably going to die, but Melanie comes back.
Unsung acting hero right now of this season is the guy who plays Kevin. Psycho.
No. Kevin's selling it.
He is good.
He couldn't clean up though. He
couldn't clean up first class, man.
Damn. I love that she sits at that table and she was like, "You got me. I'm bored. I'm cold.
Yeah,
let's go.
Okay, let's go. Come on." Last week I said I was disappointed in the season premiere. I wanted more Wilford. Well, I got more Wilford. Sean Bean just like killing it. That whole jail scene, Ruth scene, is just going to go down as probably one of the best moments in this show's history. As weird and fucked up as it was, the whole ball grabbing scene was actually like a very well acted scene. Like I was hurting a little bit and I was just like, holy shit.
I love how me being the woman in the room, I completely forgot about it because like it wasn't that traumatizing to me. I was like, yeah, okay. And then you guys mentioned it. I was like, when did they? Oh yeah, they did.
But it's just, and listen, like I know that LJ is kind of a worthless character, but I did like her chemistry and stuff with Wilford in this week's episode. Right now, like the biggest letdown has been everything with the pirate crew and Leighton. Like I'm just not feeling what's going on there. And I know the whole point is to get them back onto the
I'm telling you, he's dreaming of icy baobab.
He's drinking
that dragon tree, whatever you call it.
And like I don't know if I like the whole thing. And we're going to talk about this in a little bit, like with Bess, like kind of like, you know, maybe questioning him and maybe going down.
I think she's looking out for him, honestly.
Maybe,
she's
yeah.
like you're telling me you're seeing things. Be careful.
No one's
what
going to
you
want that kind of leadership if you
she's like, don't tell.
reunite the
You can
trains.
tell me that. You can't tell other people
Right.
that.
one thing is though is please I don't want them to go the route of Leighton just constantly having visions of the warm place, because a show that's as grounded as a show in a frozen earth on a 1,000-long car train can be, it's been kind of a grounded, realistic show, and then Leighton basically connecting to the Force and seeing the warm place.
He's become like Snow Jesus.
Yeah, it's like, all right, just please don't go that route where he just keeps seeing it's like, my visions are telling me we should go. Like, just please don't do that.
I thought it was going to be like a one-time thing.
Yeah,
just from him.
I really and my favorite scene here is because like right now I'm getting like hardcore Pirates of the Caribbean vibes from the two trains, and like the minute that Snowpiercer comes back and Wilford starts smiling, he's like, "Let's go back to your stations, you dogs!" And I'm like, "Hoist the sails, hoist the sails!" I love that moment. Sean Bean, like.
Because he's been bored. He's like, when will the pirate ship
so
return?
happy.
I want to kill somebody.
He's so happy.
He wants his train back.
Don't get me wrong. I loved season 1. Season 1 was great. It established what it needed to establish. Freaking season 2, you add him. Like I keep thinking back to when the
season 1 fucking finale was
insane. Of him stepping out in that trailer. Yep. I remember texting Britt saying, "Holy shit!"
You're at my house.
We watched live together first, and then I came over here to watch with you. And I was like, "No, you don't understand. You can't wait till tomorrow. We have to watch it now."
Yeah, he has elevated, and this is a great cast. He has elevated this freaking show so much.
I can't see anyone at this point, anyone else being able to play that character is how good he is.
He is Mr. Wilford.
Yeah, he is. And it's, one of the things
I do miss Melanie and him going head
I do
to head,
too.
though.
One of the things that sucks about this is that he's probably never going to get recognition for the show in the form of any kind of like awards, because
Snowpiercer's kind of been under the radar for a lot of people.
No one talks about the show.
wild.
Yeah.
And it was a huge movie. So like I don't even get like how to like I wanted to watch the show because the movie was so good, and even though it's vastly different, it's better.
It is better.
It
is miles
like, don't get
better.
me wrong, everybody loves the Chris Evans, "I know what babies taste like" monologue. It's a great monologue. It's a very impactful scene, but doesn't beat Melanie Cavill.
Let's get into some more detail. Last week we did ask for more Wilford. We got more Wilford, very heavily focused on him, his relationship with Joe. I wrote Josie, which is not correct. His relationship with LJ, and obviously her wedding. Yeah, I mean, he got to just stretch those acting legs in this episode. I know we kind of just decided to go there now, but anything else on Sean Bean?
There's not really much more you can say about
No,
Sean Bean.
there's really not.
He kills it in every role he's in. He literally kills things in this show. And he's like a tour de force. I hate when people say that, but like it's true. In this show, like he is a force to be reckoned with, both as a character and as an actor of the character. It's fantastic.
For England, James? No. For me.
He's so sadistic in this show.
Yeah.
My brother and sister-in-law, they haven't watched Snowpiercer, and they happened to see this episode with me, and I was trying to like vaguely, like quickly in between like the commercial segments explain the plot, and I got them pretty much caught up, but I was just like, okay, so yeah, this dude's really fucking sadistic, and I was like, and when he first appears in season 1, I was like trying to put them through it, but they were like, oh, this is at least interesting, and like maybe now they'll go back and watch.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is a really weird episode to hop in on because you don't understand why the fuck a wedding's going on. Like,
Why they're grabbing each other's balls.
yeah, it's a lot.
Well, what do you call it? I don't know. Do we post it on? I don't know if we posted on the socials. The picture of the Snowpiercer rounding a giant.
We didn't.
Yeah,
and
Jack
it's
Wilford.
so
Wilfred. awesome.
It just that right there. It just shows.
Yeah.
Like this is, and you know what? If he could, he would build a freaking statue of him out.
There
Absolutely.
probably is one somewhere, right?
In the middle of Chicago, wherever they started
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, Wilfred.
Brittany, you already went off, which is why I didn't even mention her. I could not put any more words into how awesome she was. You did a fantastic job, but she's finally found out. She bought time to get rid of the EMP. My computer obviously knows how many times I write out EIP these days, which is what it wrote in our outline. I think
She's trying to get rid of you.
Trying to get rid of us.
Trying to get rid of our pod. Never. What did we think of one Wilford building an EMP that ultimately did not really accomplish anything? And then Wilford, not only Ruth's acting, but Wilford's kind of just like reaction to Ruth, because I don't think that he was quite expecting it to be her.
No, he even said that he didn't
Yeah.
really expect it to be
Yeah.
her, but it made sense when it did. But I think the EMP made sense, and that he was going to use it to basically put it on one of those tracks that he knew the other train would be on.
Right.
He was trying to get it either ahead or behind them to like set it up, and then he would like remote detonate it, or at least
Okay.
get in front of them and then do it and be far enough ahead. But the fact that they turned it against him, his own plans, was just like awesome.
But we don't know like the repercussions of this EMP.
Right, like could it have
fell
lasting
off.
effects?
It fell off. It was because they were also saying like they felt it in there. I mean, obviously, bodies are electric, and all that fun stuff. We're getting sciencey now. but
We're on the same wavelength.
I know. Everybody's thinking it. Okay, we all are thinking
We're
it.
like Moonfall.
Moonfall.
Organic,
So much Moonfall.
organic
Organic.
beings surrounded by electricity. That's humans.
Is this going to be the theme of this episode? Is EMPs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess it is. Yeah.
EIP
I did think
goes
of, as soon as it
EMP.
appeared in the movie, I did turn to Julian and I said, oh, like Snowpiercer. The Matrix. It all connects. There's always an EMP.
Matt, anything on Wilford's reaction to Ruth and her overall killing it in this episode?
No,
And the EMP.
no. Ruth pretty much. Ruth and Wilford, like this was their episode by far. I agree that the scene with Ruth in the cell is probably one of the show's all time high points in terms of acting between two characters. And also, I know I don't see it in the points. What do you guys think about is it Asha? I think is her name, the one Leighton rescued. Like, what?
I don't care.
Nah.
I don't care.
I just think it's cool that there was another survivor.
I think it's
and
cool.
She'll probably become a cooler character.
There's not enough for me to care.
She just
right now.
got PTSD and she's mad that she's like, look at these plants.
There's so much more important things going on yet, like right now in the show, and so many different characters and things at play. She's just like so far down on my priorities of like what I care about in the show right now, and I don't. Okay, this may be an unpopular opinion. As cool as it is to have another survivor, the show doesn't need another character.
Yeah,
there
I can
are
agree with that.
so many characters, and they mostly have done a good job. Yes,
If somebody dies, that opens up a character spot for her, doesn't it?
I feel like they mainly did it just because it was the only time realistically they could get a survivor on, other than the person showing up with Melanie if she returns. But
and see, that's the thing though too. I feel like Asha right now is more of a plot device more than anything, because they're like, oh well, if she survived, then Melanie could survive, and that's what we really care about.
Yeah.
So if they're gonna off a character, who do you guys predict it will be?
LJ. No, she'll never die.
I'll predict it's Stephen Ogg's character, the one who was helping Ruth.
Oh, they probably would do that.
They would.
Just to hurt us. Because now we
It
actually
could be
like
someone
him.
more important, though.
But I feel like if it was going to be someone more important, it would have been Ruthie last episode.
Listen,
But
I don't
they
want
know
to
they
say it.
won't.
I don't want to say it, but it still could be Ruth in the next episode. Brittany's starting to tear up. I'm going to stop.
If
Snowpiercer TNT, if you're listening on all your social medias, don't.
We're like one of the old, I
don't
think the
touch-
only podcast that covers the show,
Don't
so
touch
maybe
a
they
fucking hair on Ruthie's head. I will kill you.
We're about to get a big showdown, a la maybe season 1, beginning of season or middle of season 2, between Big Alice and Snowpiercer. How do you think this is going to go? I know they kind of hinted that like Wilfred's going to escape, but what's going on?
I feel like the trains are just going to reattach and they're going to go back to their normal fucking head-to-head they have to do.
I feel there's going to be some kind of fighting at first, and then there's going to be something from Melanie comes in that basically causes everybody to just stop and go, what the fuck? Like, we need to like.
Melanie's just
Melanie's
going to stand in the middle of the
outside.
tracks and be like, stop.
Jennifer Connelly takes down her hair.
Brittany
Brittany audibly gasps. Remember?
I heard Brittany gasp from over here.
Y'all remember like season 1 when she was like running down the hall or whatever to like go fix the train and like do all that shit, and then she took her hair down and I was like, oh, Jennifer.
There's a trailer for a movie I'm going to show you after this, Brittany.
Doesn't go like hard gay for a
I
lot,
don't.
but she goes really hard gay
It's
for Jennifer
specific
Connelly.
people. It's
and
like
I love
Lucy
it.
Liu, Jennifer Connelly, certain people I attacked.
Michelle Yeoh.
I was like, really
Yes.
latched onto. Michelle Yeoh's more like in a very respectful way.
But you just want to bang Jennifer Connelly. Like that's what it comes
She's
down
just
to.
very gorgeous.
Jennifer Connelly on a
I don't know, man. I saw Labyrinth as a kid, and I was just like, "This is it. This is it for me."
That's it. Any other thoughts on how the showdown's going to go?
Career opportunities. If you know, you know.
I'm excited for it. Honestly, I'm
So you have seen that.
I have seen career opportunities.
I was just going to show you the trailer and be like, here you go, Brittany.
No,
go forth and seek it
I
out.
know it, and I love that whenever I mention her, people always put that specific GIF up, and I'm like, you know what you're doing. We all know what that scene was doing.
Is that the horse?
Yes, the
Yes.
horse scene
Yes.
is the GIF. The GIF from
I
that.
didn't know where it came from.
Yeah.
So
It's fun. They get locked in like, what was it? Like
They're like in a
Target or
Target.
whatever overnight. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just.
It's ridiculous, but it's fun if you like just like weird like coming of age like 80s and 90s.
I forget how because I've never seen the movie. I've seen the trailer, and it's funny. Somebody in the comments said,
I smell bargain bin.
I've seen the GIF of Jennifer Connelly on that horse so much. It's basically feature length at this point.
Well, now you found my fake account. Thank you.
Rob,
I'm just kidding.
Rob, you were saying you're excited for the showdown.
Oh God, I'm sorry. All right.
I was gonna say surprisingly, it was actually Hulk for me. I watched Hulk a lot growing up.
the Jennifer Connelly horse is your
I really liked
burner
her.
account. Oh dear God!
We switched tracks to the Jennifer Connelly train here.
Train
So
has derailed. The train has
This
totally
is the Brittany
derailed.
pirate train. We're just looking for Melanie and no one else.
I'd watch that show. I mean, come on.
It could be fun. We need a prequel.
Prequels,
Yes. Can we
Yes,
have
show
prequel
me
of
Melanie beforehand.
building
Kicking
Snowpiercer.
Wilfred out into the snow and taking the train.
You know what I really want from Snowpiercer?
Mm-hmm.
I want a freaking animated
Sushi
episode.
served on Jennifer Connelly.
Yes, that too.
I would take an animated prequel,
I'd
like
ta-
a 1 hour
I'd take
animated
an animated
special.
like episode or something like that. We're just
Brittany did not take the bait. I love it.
I will.
Oh, I missed whatever happened.
So I will say one thing I'm looking forward to in this is the moment when Melanie and Ruth reunite and the scene that the two of them will have, because Melanie will be like, Ruth, I've heard what you did, and blah, blah, blah. If Ruth obviously lives.
They better have that moment. If Ruth dies in her arms or some shit, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be like, hospitality for life.
Just make sure Kevin cleans first class.
Make sure my blood doesn't stain the carpet.
I just want to see Melanie reunite with her daughter. Goddammit.
yeah,
That
same.
was Alex. I
I
think,
could
right?
see that of where if Melanie ever gets back
Mm-hmm.
onto the train, her and Ruth get reunited real quick and something happens. Maybe it's Wilfred just comes
Ruth
up
just randomly gets
just
shot.
straight up comes up behind and just like stabs and be like, I took her.
Like Sephiroth.
or they
Oh, and that's on like Donkey
or
Kong.
They kill Melanie.
Melanie goes apeshit.
Oh, I know. Matt's all of the top billings a joke thing. It's not real. They're gonna really kill her this
Well,
time.
I mean, if you think about it, if one way that you want to get the people talking about the show, if you kill off Jennifer Connelly,
they already did.
I'm talking like really.
She walked out into the snow. She wandered.
Yeah, that's
she was
not
very hungry.
Yeah.
She's not dead.
I know.
You're going to have her just come back in flashbacks at this point. I personally feel that. I feel like she's probably dead. Honestly, if she comes back, fan-freaking-tastic.
No, she's coming back.
They're doing the like when her
They
daughter
started name dropping her too much.
when her daughter said like, oh, she's gone. I just wanted to be like, that's the showrunners trying to be like, oh, she's dead. Of course,
No.
wink, wink,
'Cause then
wink.
Bess is
It's like none of us
"Nah."
have ever watched sci-fi before. Come on, guys, let's rate the second
Naomi?
episode of season 3 out of 5 super awkward ball grabs.
Having never done it myself, I will give 5 out of 5 awkward ball grabs because Ruth. That's all I gotta say. Ruth
5
is
ball
getting me
grabs.
through the season so far. Love
Nice.
her.
Yeah.
As I said, I'll go 3.5. I'm still not a fan of Oz and LJ and all that. And honestly, Wilford even kind of seeming like he's under her spell a little bit, like he likes her. That seems out of character for him, for a guy who is so ruthless and willing to just do
So
what it takes.
ruthless.
He is ruthless.
Yeah, he is. He is very much ruthless.
That's good.
Thanks. I learned from the best. Rob.
I want to take Oz's balls,
Oh god.
times that by 2.
4.
So 4.
I get it. Yeah.
4 balls.
4 balls.
There are 4 balls.
Sorry, Sir Patrick Stewart. Sorry. I'm gonna go with Matt. I'm gonna say 3.5 out of 5. Let's pick it up. Let's go. Come on.
I think
Make
next
it happen.
episode is when we start going full
Because
throttle.
They're gonna go balls to the
They
walls?
could have done the whole episode on board Big Alice and left Leighton and them to not do anything because I just didn't give a shit this week. So let's go. Let's make shit happen. 3.5 out of 5. We'll be back next week with episode 3. All right, guys. From Snowpiercer to Halo, let's break down the full-length trailer for the upcoming Paramount Plus series debuting next month. We've already watched the trailer a few times. We have some images to go through. I know that Paramount Plus missed some important ones. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to grab extras, but we'll go through what we have. We'll mention some things that they might have missed. Let's do this. Before we do get into it, initial thoughts on the trailer.
I see where people can go both ways with the trailer, because there are some things about it that very much scream Halo with like the look and feel of it, but then there's other things where I'm kind of like, and I know we're gonna kind of get into that as we go through and break down the trailer itself. But I know that it's been a very split reaction from a lot of the Halo community.
Yep.
I think I love the outfits so far. Like the costuming looks great and the budget looks good, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's an alternate timeline. I know we're going to get into it because, like, whenever you adapt something from one medium to another, you gain something and you lose something.
Yep.
Like, I'm fine as long as it fits the tone and the heart of the characters in the story, even if stuff has changed.
Yep. And they've straight up said this is not
This
the
ain't
Halo
your mama's
canon.
Halo.
This is its own separate canon. So let's get into it. Like Brittany said, the budget looks amazing. They look to have spent a shit ton of money on this series. Master Chief, the first image that we pull up, just looks. I mean, listen, it's
The armor looks great.
It's Master Chief.
You don't even see the camera in the reflection.
You don't even see the camera in the
It's
reflection.
like they CG'd it right
That's
out.
called post-production.
So here's a question I'll have for you, because some people, and I can see why they did what they did. Do you think the actual voice actor should have done the voice while he's in the helmet, while he has the helmet on, and then when it's off, it's the actor who plays him?
No, you can't replicate, and I'm sorry if I get the last name wrong, but I don't think I will. You cannot replicate Steve Downes' voice as Master Chief.
Yeah.
You can't. I wouldn't want anyone to try it unless they hired him to do the voice. And even in the helmet and then off, it's someone else's voice. Do your own take.
I feel like people would complain if it was a different voice with the helmet on versus off. Like, they'd be so picky about
and
it.
listen, I'm not going to lie. Was it jarring hearing someone else's voice being Master Chief? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Am I going to get used to it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't want anybody to try and replicate it. But yeah, the armor looks fantastic. We move on. This seems to be a planet of some kind. It looks like a mega planet, just stacks and stacks of probably people living on top of each other, probably refugees, the poor. What do you get out of this?
I mean, I know that like when we first kind of briefly touched upon Halo a couple weeks ago, and I had speculated that maybe this took place pre-Covenant arriving, because there was a lot of shit that went down, because the Spartans were originally created because like piracy was like such a huge issue with them that they were like, yeah, we can't do anything. And so that's where the Spartan program was made. So, I mean, like this whole like thing, it could be a kind of a call to that. Like us, people were so clustered together and everything. There were so much issues and poverty and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, there could be a callback to that. I mean, but I do dig the aesthetic of that shot, because I've said before, like the more people you stack closer together in my science fiction, the happier I am. Yeah. Like I love that shit.
Kind of like
It's
dystopian.
like capitalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the true reach.
Nice.
R.I.P.
Anything, Britt, or should we move on to the next one?
Just, Ready Player One vibes.
Yeah.
All these people living on top of each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is cool. We get to see, looks like a lot of UNSC soldiers. We get to see, I always forget the name of the bigger planes.
Is it the Pelican?
The Pelican.
Big plane.
It is a Pelican. I think we said this like 3 times already, but the budget, I mean, the CG looks
What about the
freaking
warthogs?
fantastic. Oh, they're there. We saw one driving.
The hogs are Wharton.
Not really much to go on. Maybe they're fighting
These are
against
the hogs of
pirates.
war.
Something else is going on here, but cool to see the aesthetic remaining the same from the games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to the next image.
The Ark
Dude,
of the Covenant.
it's the CG is just beautiful.
Looks better than half the alien bad guys in Endgame, like the Marvel ones. Like, look at that face. The way it was animated and stuff, I was like, that is really good.
Now,
Jowl's only a mother.
is this? Do we think this is the Arbiter?
They could set that up. They very well could set that up.
What if it's an Arbiter?
We'll get to a later screenshot where I think they are setting that up.
Yeah,
but
and then I'm actually going forward real quick just to see if there's something that I want to.
I think there is. I
discuss.
think
No, I don't
No?
think so. No.
it's not. All right, maybe we'll get there. These I'm kind of doing these out of order, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked. The Covenant looked, and it's not an image that they posted, but it was in the trailer. One of the coolest scenes is seeing Covenant fighters, go up against Master Chief with the energy swords, and
he's just dodging. He's like hitting them and swinging
It's so
and shooting.
cool. It's just so cool.
So I will. One thing about this though, and I know other people have expressed because it's not in the screenshot, so I'm just going to bring it up now. Is it seems like the big bad is a human, and I don't like that at all.
Apparently, she was like stolen.
I get it, but there's a scene where she walks in, and this is where I think they could be setting up the flood. Is when
no,
you
the
see, like,
Flood are
people,
definitely.
you see like these tentacles like grabbing people in the room real quick, and that's where I think they could open the doors to the Flood, and the and Halo and such as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know that that's like the main area of contention with this only because of the history of the Covenant and the Flood and the fact that you have that whole like zealous religion that was about eradicating humans. Then you're like, why would you have a human involved in that? But I will suspend my disbelief to see what they do with the lore, because I highly doubt that they would just give this IP over to become a show and not okay some things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not like I'm withholding my full judgment until I see how they establish this character, because I just hope they don't go, oh, she was kidnapped and raised. Like the Covenant want nothing to do with humanity. They just want to annihilate us.
Yeah, you're like a lesser being to them.
Yeah, I would not see them being like, oh, a human baby, let's go ahead and raise it as one of our own and hope for the best.
Yeah. The next shot we see
She got flood blood.
UNSC soldiers. It's not exactly a great shot, but it does make me wonder: is this one of the big UNSC motherships, like like the Infinity or another ship?
Yeah, the scale's the big thing in the photos.
Yeah, and I mean those motherships are massive.
And you got to believe if there's halos literally bigger than planets, we got to see that scale somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be the Infinity. It could be not the Forward not the
the Pillar of Autumn.
the pillar. It could be the Pillar of Autumn. Lots of options, but it's cool that they're making the scale look appropriate to what we've seen in all of the Halo games. So
You're but one tiny Master Chief. Everything's so big.
This image goes, I mean, it's just completely random, but Master Chief goo.
You got the goo.
I feel like that
Did
shot
he just
happens-
punch a Covenant in the face?
Yeah, I feel like the
Blood,
shot
yeah.
happens after those two Covenant with the sword, like when he
Straight
completely
up just
messes them
melee
up.
someone's, right?
Yeah,
Like
I love
right out of
the J.J. Abrams lens flare.
Lens flare.
It's nice.
yeah.
But it's just like showing us like a samurai film where like the dude's like sword is just covered in blood. It's the same, like it evokes the same thing. You're like hand covered in goo. Hell yeah, it's alien blood.
Yeah. There's not really much else you could say about this other than boom, hero shot.
Yeah.
You get a
Hero
full look at the armor.
Such
you know
a poser.
He's such a poser. You pose. You
do the thing with your arm. You flip
I'm not
your
a
hair.
poser.
Yeah. Total poser.
You get the 117 on the chest. What now, Matt? I don't recognize
The other emblem on the
other
opposite
emblem,
side.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm
It looks
gonna.
like a fox.
It means he's a lone wolf.
Yeah, it looks like I'm kind of zooming in on it, and it definitely does look like a fox, a wolf, something like that. It could be
his
something from the
his
Spartan
fire team.
program. Yeah.
And then obviously just like you can't really see the whole thing, but he's definitely got a battle rifle or assault rifle on the back there. Just being Master Chief, being a boss.
So I didn't look closely at I just now zoomed in on the next image we're gonna touch. And
So this is the one.
It's pretty
This
tentacool.
is the one. They're with the Covenant High Council.
Yep.
I mean, and I think that is the human girl with them.
That looks like it could.
does look
That,
like her.
that looks like it could be the Arbiter.
No, like him, but that's the human girl.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
I-
the cloak standing.
I
yeah.
do think that they are setting up the Arbiter. Like that's such a scene from the Halo games.
If they do, was a Keith David was the voice of
Keith
the Arbiter?
David,
Like you
and-
got to get Keith David in
Could
there.
probably do it again.
I'm fine not having Steve Downs do Master Chief, but you can't have anybody else voice.
Well, I mean, it's an alien. You don't
Yeah.
need a
No, you don't
human.
need- no,
You can just get Keith
you
David
can just
to
go
do
to
the
the
voice.
booth. Have Brittany do it. She could do Keith David.
Easily. I could just whip that voice right out of my back pocket.
This is great, by the way. The set design,
Yeah.
whether it's CG or an actual set, I'm guessing that's all CG.
I feel
but
like no matter what, whether the show is amazing or garbage, it's going to get a lot
Gonna
of
be
eyes
gorgeous.
drawn to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sheer set pieces are going to attract a lot of attention.
yeah.
You're saying it's not arbitrary?
Talking about posers, a lot of these screenshots are just like Master Chief doing cool hero poses, fist in the sand, being a boss. Not really much to talk about there.
Just like
I mean,
Dune,
you
a lot of
can't-
fists in the sand.
So I've actually kind of in preparation for the show, I've watched a couple of the older Halo game trailers from 1 to 3, especially 3, because that's when their marketing campaign really hit its zenith for it. And you can't watch the trailer for Halo 3. I think it's called the Starry Night trailer when he's like in the desert, kind of like that, and like he hears the radio, like, yeah, where's the chief? Like, I think we lost him. He just goes, not yet, and he pulls out like one of the shield grenades, just throws it in the ground, and it's like it protects him from the mortar blast. And he just starts taking off across the desert full speed with the Halo theme going. It's awesome, and I think they're kind of trying to evoke that from the stuff with the shots in the sand desert stuff scenes.
yeah. I'm proud of myself. I was right on the voice actor for Master Chief. It is Steve Downs.
Yeah.
He is awesome. Yeah.
I can see why they couldn't hire him for because I think he's like in his early 60s now.
He's getting up there.
Yeah, you
He's
can't
getting up there.
have him in these action
And listen,
scenes.
I'm not complaining because
No,
he's
it's-
still Master Chief, but you can kind of start hearing the age in his
Yeah.
voice in Halo Infinite. So I get it. I don't want to spend too much time talking about pose scenes, but this is like the best part of the trailer when he flips the battle rifle around and just aims it. I think then it goes to like the title screen, and I'm just like,
It's Halo.
And
it's
then-
Halo.
Yeah, and then of course the biggest thing comes next that people are not happy about.
Let's talk about it because
I
I
don't
don't
see
have
an issue.
I don't have any problems.
I can see because we're conditioned because Cortana for 20 years basically is how long Halo's been around for. She has been a blue holographic projection, like giving her human colored skin and all that. I can see why that would be jarring for people because basically for a lot of people, like Halo is their gaming childhood.
Yep. I can
And,
understand. Okay.
and I can understand people now. It's one thing if you're like, I'm not a huge fan of this, but I'll see how it plays out versus like, I don't even want to watch the show now because Cortana's not blue. Like there's a difference in that. And I'm not going to lie to you. Like even I am kind of like, all right, it's a little jarring for me, but it is, as I said, I'm willing to give the show a shot and see how it plays out.
And listen, they didn't get Steve Downes to return as Master Chief, but Jen Taylor is playing Cortana. She is the voice of Cortana, and she's coming back as the voice of Cortana. I don't really care how she looks. As long as she sounds like Cortana, I'm happy. And listen, you can't be too quick to judge trailer images. She's on the screen for, I think, like probably half a second. Who knows if she has like blue lines like going through her? It's too early to tell.
Now, one thing though is because I know there's the admiral or whatever says at some point like, oh, what do we do with an asset? We can't, like, please don't go the route of like the USNC tries to like hunt the chief down because he quote can't be controlled.
Done it before. I mean, it's in the games.
I know, but don't do it this early, please.
Depends on the timeline.
Also, Halo 5 was like one of the most. I know you liked it, but a lot of people did not like it.
I know.
So I like that they have the voice actress for Cortana.
Yeah.
That's key. I like when they bring that back. As for her look, like, I feel like they're going with a Blade Runner like look for like the holograms, because yes, it's cool in a game when the hologram looks all like glitchy and techy, but at the same time, if we're in this future where technology is so good, why not have the person look realistic? Like, I don't have a problem with it. I like Cortana. But people bitched every single game. Every time she changed even a little bit, they're like, that's not my holographic wife. And I'm like, can you calm down? Like, graphics got better. Relax. So it's just another case of like...
You really wanted to look how she looked in Halo 3? Come on.
Oh, face models. Anyway, yeah, so I like that she looks like an AI that's like a human. So, but we'll have to see how it plays out. They have this like light blue light right now, but you never know. When you see it in action in the show, you might like a new version a little better. If it ends up not being good, then fine. Complain about it then.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's talk about this character rescued by Master Chief, and I think she asked the question like, "Why would you rescue me? I'm just like an
yeah. Why would a Spartan do that?
Yeah. And I guess some Spartans do, and the UNSC does have a bad reputation in kind of like the frontier of the universe. So, is this someone we're going to be seeing a lot? I feel like I feel
like she's
a companion.
Yeah, I feel like she's going to be the more, because you have a dude who's known for basically being in full armor for like virtually for every single video game that he's ever been in, and depending on how long they keep him in armor in the show, you might want to have that human character that the audience forms more of a connection with.
Everybody needs an Ellie to their Joel. I like it. I don't mind new characters being introduced once again, as long as it fits the tone and the heart of the story. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Plus, okay, more representation at least.
Another character they're bringing back is, I believe, an ex-Spartan. It's a character from the Halo books, and it's I forget the actor's name, but he has that line in the series. I think he's talking to Master Chief. He's like, "You're like, why are you still with them? Like after what they did to us, like that guy." So, cool development. Like maybe UNSC isn't necessarily all to be trusted, as we've known that from the games as well. More hero shots, but cool because we're not just going to see Master Chief. We're going to see his fire team. Maybe these are members that we already know from the games, which could be really cool. But no matter what,
judging by the boob armor, this is a lady.
Maybe we'll get a Nathan Fillion cameo from his character. You never know. But cool to see. It's not just going to be seeing Master Chief in Spartan armor.
Do you think that they might tease like a Halo Reach thing with some of those characters?
I think they'll name drop it, or
I do.
It'll be a reference somehow.
And then finally, let's just cut to the chase and call this Jeddah from Rogue One.
It does look like Jeddah.
But it looks like a city on a mountain.
We'll call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deception.
Fire reactor at 10%.
Yep. This scene seems to be important. It's things that you've done in the Halo games before, interacting with
the Forerunner technology.
Yeah, Forerunner technology. This seems to affect Master Chief. This is how he finds out about what Halo is. And this makes me ask you guys the question, how far do we get into the series before we actually end up on a Halo?
I don't know, because in the trailer, like they reference like they're trying to find Halo, which once again is like a huge departure, because in the games they accidentally stumble on it because they're running from Reach and just jump randomly, and they literally end up in the system where the first Halo ring
not
is.
Zeta, no, sorry, Installation 0?
I forget, whatever.
one of those.
I don't think it's 0 though. I think it's something else.
Installation 4. I'll look it up.
Maybe it's
This,
3.
this looks like they're.
I think it's 343 because maybe that's where
No, that's
343 Industries
340,
comes from.
No, that comes from the Guilty Spark, the dude on
This
it.
looks like they're Minas Tirith. That's all I can think of. The way the sun's hitting it, I'm just like,
You think?
look to the east on the third day.
Oh my god.
Installation 4
Okay.
is the first Halo.
All right.
Brittany, any thoughts on when we actually step foot on a Halo ring?
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be one of those things that would actually appear early on, or if they would do it as like a big reveal at the end of season 1. You know, that they like see one, and then the scale is like one of those big endings where it's like dun dun dun.
I
know.
hope it's not
Yeah.
like
I
the show's called Halo, but we don't see a Halo until the finale of season 1.
Well,
That would suck.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
it depends on like we said. Do they stumble upon one early, or is it going to be a completely different sort of
I
timeline?
do like
don't know.
the idea of actually looking for it rather than stumbling around and finding
Well,
it
the thing is,
randomly.
though, is that the Halo rings are so alien and so advanced and stuff like that like, how would they find out about it?
Well, we obviously
Well, they're
yeah,
huge.
they
I
found
get
an
it.
artifact. Yeah. We see a couple of shots that weren't posted here. Obviously, we are introduced to Dr. Halsey, who not only created Cortana, but is kind of the mother of the not so what's the word not good Spartan.
I mean,
program. Not ethically good.
I mean,
Spartan
if you
program.
don't know anything about the Halo lore, just like the Spartans were all basically tortured in a way. Like they were cut up. They were, because they even show, I think, like Chief's back. He has all the scars and everything from like all the surgeries and such that he had to make him what he is.
Yep. So, any other thoughts on the Halo trailer, the Halo series, what we have coming up?
I think if you like it, then you should put a ring on it. Let me see your halo.
I'm running out of buttons. She actually made so many
Beyonce
puns.
it, so
I know a soundbite I might give to you, by the way.
Wrong,
You can add this.
There we go. Anyway, we are going to be covering every single episode of Halo coming up next March. So stay tuned for that. We are going to just love on the series until it either is great or sucks. Either way,
We're going to grind
we're
up on
gonna
that
cover it.
Halo.
Speaking
teabags
of
galore.
things that either suck really hard or end up magically being awesome. No, not that, Brittany.
The only thing I was sucking really hard on was my icy in the theater.
And then you couldn't because of the paper straws.
It was just the beginning.
Wait,
I was
hold
like,
on.
what is going on
You
here?
got a paper straw?
She got a paper
was
straw.
weird.
Yeah, that's how that they are now.
I had a, what do you call it? I had a
Icy
plastic-
straw?
I had
You
a
got to
plastic
ask for
straw.
that. You probably
You
got to
got a
ask.
real straw.
You got to ask.
I don't know. I got a soda cup and I got a plastic, like a biodegradable straw, but I got.
I guess they thought, like protect the environment, prevent the moon from falling. My one straw will really make the difference.
Damn right.
Well, that's right, Brittany, because it is a special movie theater edition of Matthew.
The Raiders of the Bargain Bin.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
One of these days I need to make a new one of those.
I still love that
I like
one.
it.
Nope.
Nope, not allowed. It is Raiders of the Bargain Bin. We went to see Moonfall, the latest, greatest, not greatest, but still fun adventure disaster flick from Roland Emmerich.
He hates humanity.
He hates humanity. He hates New York City. This
But
was.
he also didn't cast The Rock, so that's
He also didn't cast The Rock. This was a wild ride. I think we all went into it with.
You know why he didn't? Because then he'd have to be a moon rock.
I hate you. This movie's literally fresh in theaters, so like the score could have changed while we were recording. Right now, the Rotten Tomato score sits at a 42% critic, so rotten, and 67% audience. Where are we with these
Hey,
scores?
D's get degrees. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm higher audience
Oh my
wise.
God.
I'm higher audience wise too.
Yeah.
You both are killing me.
I just fucking had fun, man.
I think it's 3-on-1 tonight.
That's fine.
No, I'm going to
That's
say
okay.
neutral. It was. Listen, was it a fun movie? Yes. I enjoyed it. plot could have been a lot better.
Wait, did you just say plot?
Wait, there was yeah,
You watched a disaster movie with a plot?
Is plot on that cinescope on there?
No, yes, it is actually in parentheses.
Okay, one of the reasons why you saw the
We
movie,
picked
it's
it.
in there.
Good, I didn't.
We have to mention that.
Let's talk about the magical moment. For the first time in EIP history, and the first time I've ever gotten to do this, which I was giddy as a schoolboy.
Ditto.
We got to do the cinema score for the movie. This is how they determine whether the movie's going to be successful or not.
Yep.
And
That's how you know we were one of the first people to see this
one
damn
of
movie.
the first people to see
The theater was not packed though. We have to.
There was a whopping 12, maybe 13 people in there.
It's going to bomb. It's not going to make
Yeah.
it.
Oh no.
It's
What that sequel
they
they
did not
set up
advertise
at the
it well.
end, it's not coming
I don't think they were gonna do a sequel anyway.
But there is plot on here. One of the options you could choose is reason for attending this movie, and one of the options is subject matter, characters, or plot.
And we saw it because we're like
shit, I picked
disaster
that one.
movies. And it's rather fitting that the first movie I reviewed with you guys was a disaster movie, San
was.
Andreas, which was terrible.
So bad.
The Fault in Our, what did I say? Like the fault
Fault
line
in
of his
Our-
pecs or whatever. It was something really funny back then. It was a good joke.
They
Oh,
should
man.
have had. They should have had.
And
The
now here
Rock
we
in
are.
there.
No.
But here
I'm
we
biased.
are.
The Rock's
He's
gravitational
the reason
pull
why those
would've-
movies do so bad. He just, ugh.
Ooh.
Take it back.
Brittany,
He doesn't.
Brittany
He
with
doesn't
some
carry
harsh
it.
truths.
He can lift a lot of weight, but he can't carry some films.
I know that Brittany and I left
Moana?
I love it. Yeah, when he's a good supporting character,
what
but
about
when
Jungle
he's the
Cruise?
lead in a disaster movie,
Oh God, no, absolutely.
it's
not.
rough.
we haven't even watched Skyscraper yet.
Oh, I've been meaning to watch that.
I know that Brittany and I left the theater absolutely giddy. I know at the end of the movie, I was like, "Listen, was this great? No, but was it dope? Yeah, it was absolutely dope. I had
There's a
so
difference
much
between
fun.
great and dope.
It's true, but Matt, I know you're the not on the good scale here.
Not on the Snowpiercer.
I mean,
train.
it's.
No.
I would say it's average. Maybe the production value pushes it to slightly above average. I mean, it's. I have seen worse movies. I will preface that right now. We saw a worse movie last fucking week.
Exactly.
I mean, in terms of production values, and it's far better than some of the schlock I've seen in my lifetime. However, at the same time, and I will say, when the third act happens, when it just completely embraces the fucking crazy, that's when it's like, okay, I can enjoy this a little bit. But everything up to that, I'm just like, oh my God. I legit feel bad for anybody who works for NASA that might happen to see this movie and just go, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no.
Are you
yeah, it's
kidding?
not
And I
like
bet
any
they
of that
fucking
works.
loved it. They're like, we're so bored, just
Yeah.
tracking nothing. Let's go see Moonfall after our shift, guys.
Yeah, but
we
it's-
can do our launch
Halle
with two
Berry's in it.
fucking
But I
people.
mean, even I can suspend my disbelief. I truly can. But there's so many things there's a difference between me saying okay, for the purposes of the movie, I have to say this is why this happened in the plot. But when they're like, oh, he's the first person to discover the fucking moon is moving out of alignment, the entire world would notice that immediately because people with a telescope look at the goddamn moon every night. And you could easily see
There's
if it
so
starts
many nerds out there.
getting
You think I don't stare at the moon every night before I go to bed?
I sing somewhere out there every night at the moon. Okay.
Roland Emmerich. I look at the moon daily.
I look up at the moon and I just think to myself, is Jennifer Connelly looking at the moon?
You're gonna say it. I look up at the moon and I think Jennifer Connelly and I stare at the
Is
same
she the
moon.
architect?
Melanie, I know you're still out there.
Is she the construct?
Oh my God.
Melanie.
I mean,
Brittany's speechless. I did it.
and I will kind of close up my thoughts in that at least most of the actors did their job. They
Yes.
came in, they
Most.
got their paycheck. His son was I said to Julian, his
No.
son has negative
His son
charisma.
is terrible.
Terrible.
Every time his
That's
son
why I said
appeared,
the
I would.
family plot. The film didn't need the family. I was like,
no.
I liked the characters enough. They could have had no family. And I was like, this is fine.
When they're out in Colorado with the son and the other kid and all that stuff, and the thing opens and the Lexus drives out, I lean over to him the 2022
Yeah.
Lexus, please drive it now.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh man.
So I know this guy, and
He didn't use the fucking gun. This dumb kid. People pull a gun on him, and he's like, "I'm gonna hide it under the car. Just fucking shoot them first. They wouldn't take your car."
There was 3 against 1.
Yeah, but
No.
But if you get
Yeah.
if you
Come on.
cap one dude and you cap one dude, and
I
then
would tell the other people in the car to duck real quick. Boom, bop him in the head. Reverse, duck down, drive back.
reverse.
We done. Then you go bop, bop, bop.
Brittany.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Brittany.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
No.
Brittany, go.
Where to begin with this glorious, absurd
Oh, the moon
fucking film? Well, yeah, it was called Moonfall, and damn did the moon fall the entire film.
The entire
Almost,
movie.
not the first act, but like
No.
second and third acts. It was falling. It was falling. This movie, I swear, it had like Interstellar level VFX.
Yeah.
And I was like pleasantly surprised by that because the trailers make it look god awful. And I'm like, what did they cut like from this movie to make it look that bad? So that was pleasantly surprising. Halle Berry was dope. She's always dope. I loved seeing her in a role where she's just like gets put in charge of NASA because everybody else fucking gives up except for her. And I was like,
Rich
You
white
go.
man
Yep.
quitting his job. And
he's
be
like, I gotta run away to a bunker. And she's like,
okay, I'm gonna save the world.
black women do the work though. And then she did it. And I was like,
Which is such a testament
I
to,
know,
to
to
the hidden
NASA.
figures in
Yeah.
NASA. Yeah.
Anyway, because at first you guys were like, remember when we saw the trailer and we're like, why did she agree to be in this movie? But watching the movie, I was like, I absolutely see why, because this was a really good character.
Yeah.
She was like, female roles like this are hard to come by. I will play a disaster film just because she's written well. And I
She's
was
still
like,
making up for
okay.
Catwoman. let's be honest.
Thank you for taking the words right out of my
She's
mouth.
atoning for
Hey.
it still.
It's overtime.
She
bitch.
played basketball for us all, okay? She did that for us.
For our sins.
For our
my
sins,
God.
she died. My one drawback with that is, like, one, I didn't care for the family crap most of the time. They confused me because in the beginning it really does seem like her character's gay after she
it
gets
really
the divorce.
does.
Because at first when the other woman appears,
Yes.
I was
Yeah,
like,
the babysitter.
Yeah, well, that's the but
foreign
thing is,
exchange
she's-
student babysitter.
Yeah, she checked on the kid, and then she's like, this other woman appears, and I was like, oh damn, did they make her gay? I was like, this is pretty cool because she's already badass, and I'm here for it. But then they like don't kiss before she leaves, so I was just like, something's up. And then you find out later on she's just like some foreign exchange student.
That
from China.
character solely exists to please like the Chinese backers of this movie because like
Ye-
Tencent Media
yeah.
is one of the producers of this movie.
Although I will say we didn't even have to pay 10 cents to see this. Free with A-list. So yeah, that was a little disappointing because like, damn. But to make up for it in the background, in his conspiracy charts with like the posters and stuff, it did say like gay aliens
aliens
found in UFO. And I was like, yes,
Just
we
hear
got
an
it.
audible gasp coming from Brittany.
Overall, this movie, to me, I just needed ridiculous sci-fi fun. I didn't go into this expecting anything super serious. I liked that the fucking third act is so over the top, but they committed to it. And a lot of times, like, this is like a B movie to me. Like, I went to see this to make fun of and have fun, but like the fact that it actually committed to what it needed to be, I liked it better than Godzilla vs. Kong. That one was
we were talking
like,
about that in the car.
it just drained me, and I was like, Millie, why did you do this, honey? Like, why? But yeah, the one thing I hope is just that conspiracy theorists who watch this, please know this is not realistic at all. The movie is making fun of people like you.
There are no mega
Wait,
structures in space.
you're telling me the moon isn't hollow?
Is it a mega
Is-
structure? You joke, Matt, but I know people in my life. Oh man, yeah, it's unfortunate because there's a lot of people that really do believe some of this stuff. Because I did say to Julian about the second act, I was like, man, if they really, because like the way the moon was like recentering itself and not, I was like, if they really make it that it's like a megastructure, I don't know if I could do this. But then by the end, I was like, no, this is fucking hilarious that it's a megastructure. And you know what? I'm here for it. It's so ridiculous. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
They went full contact with it. I was like, you know what? Yeah.
Where did it go?
I tried to predict that. I thought that the
Oh, you were
astronaut who
so
floated
wrong.
I know. Oh no, actually, I thought it
was
would have
thinking
been.
that too.
I thought that the astronaut that got floated off would either be like the symbol of the thing that was trying to crash the moon, or of the system of the moon. That like, because basically that would be like the representation. Like the dude
That's
would be
fair.
like, you all
Yeah.
like left me, so fuck all of
Oh,
you.
yeah. Like he became like the next day.
Like it basically like
Became
integrated with them in
V'ger
order.
from the motion picture.
I mean, basically, yeah. If you want to go that route.
I just love that they flew a fucking ship that said "fuck the moon" and graffiti on the side into the moon. And she's like, nobody could have painted on top of this. I'm like, that makes it amazing though that you didn't fucking paint over
I literally said, I'm like, are they not going to
You're
give it a
like, you know
picture?
what?
Oh, then she was like, oh,
the moon.
Oh, she just answered my question.
Yeah, and also apparently the space shuttle Endeavour can take like asteroid hits onto its bottom and such. So.
And you know what? It landed without any electricity.
I picture this guy turning nozzles and such as they're trying to fly in the
floating out
atmosphere.
The true endeavor was the friendships we made along the way.
So true.
I was just gonna say the opening to this movie was the best part to me because when I like the credits and stuff at the beginning, I'm like, okay, this is a little goofy. And then the opening scene when it hits and they lose their friend and like I bought their friendship together, like
Yeah.
him and Halle Berry. And I was like,
yeah.
this is dope. I'm here for it.
Rob, before I let you go, I'm gonna tack on to what Brittany said, just because disaster movies are made or broken on their opening scenes. You know within the first 5 or 10 minutes of a disaster movie if it's going to be a win or if you're just going to be like, why did I subject myself to this? And it was a win. I was like, okay, I am invested for the rest of this movie, and I did not take my eyes off the screen for the rest of like the 2 hours plus that it was. So it did its job. Rob, your thoughts?
So
He's like gonna trash it. Let's go.
no. So I was actually supposed to see Jackass tonight. And
I might see that tomorrow or Sunday.
We'll go.
I gotta find out when Heather wants to see it.
Unfortunately, I got stood up for that one. So I was just like, okay, cool.
Damn it, Melanie.
Yeah, right. No.
Don't you drag her name through the mud?
Melanie would never stand
don't
anyone
you drag
up.
her through the orbit of the Earth 5 times and somehow the population still survives?
So I was expecting laughs from this any which way, and I got laughs. Listen, like I said before, it was a fun movie. However, that whole third act was what the heck? Like where it went too fast. It threw way too much
furious
crap. Boo. Can I get
No, the part where they literally drew the car and they ramped when the gravity was going
was
up.
so-
Julian and I were like,
Jesus.
Fast and Furious 10, let's go.
Yeah. It was just...
It's all about family.
And
It was.
let's... Yeah.
I got Julian.
Other way, away from the board. No.
Dumb. I mean, Joe.
No. Can we talk about the elephant in the room of...
The cat named
No, we can't
Buzz
talk
Aldrin.
about Barbar.
Baba.
I want to talk about the barber. No. Donald Sutherland.
No, that was fucking...
That was
the best
such
parts.
a...
That was ridiculous.
He was in the movie for
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
The man is
And
like
he's
83 years old, though.
like-
we can't.
But it was
expect
featured so heavily in the trailers.
But to be fair, the minute that
To
he
be
came up
fair.
in that scene and he did his whole Apollo 11, whatever, I was like, this scene is fucking insane. I'm here for it because this is conspiracy theorist bullshit.
Can we say something that I really, because when he said that, yeah, when Apollo 11 they saw like lights under the, like, you're telling me that was reported to the government. They're like, you know what? Let's shut this shit down and not bother with the moon anymore.
Yes.
Like
100%.
Like, so you have evidence of some kind of machine like in the moon, and literally the reaction is, you know what? Let's just go ahead and shuffle that shit off,
Yeah.
and
Look
I
at our
believe that.
pandemic, man.
we'll just.
Every
I
time I
totally
was like,
believe
this
that.
is almost unbelievable, I was
This
like,
is-
look at the pandemic.
But this
though.
is fucking NASA, though. This isn't your uncle
Okay,
sharing.
They did
wait,
blame it on
can we-
budgets,
like,
though. They did
shock
say.
conspiracy theories.
The budgets.
Can I get real here, real quick? I'm gonna bring this really deep and really real. Talk about Moonfall, but I'm gonna do
Deeper than the moon's crust?
it. It goes no further than looking at the Challenger shuttle. They were warned multiple fucking times that the fuel lines were frozen over so many times that they were degrading, and NASA did jack shit. They just ignored it and said it's gonna be fine. They said don't launch in the cold, don't do it, because something is going to happen. And they said, everything's going to be fine. It's okay. They launched. What happened?
R.I.P. Krista.
And then all of the other Apollo astronauts that would have been at the moon been like, yeah, there's like shit there, guys. They just were like, you know what? We're just
I'm just saying, like our country, like, and it's speaking specifically about America, like whether this is a fictional bullshit, like disaster movie or not, our country has a horrible track record of throwing shit under the rug and not giving a shit. So
Every
I,
time
But they started making an EMP weapon for something. They were like,
Military,
I don't know,
though,
maybe.
that's the difference. Look, the whole film was about look at the military budget versus the NASA budget.
Yep.
And they only scrapped it because, we ended up not needing it.
they were literally going to send every single nuke in the United States up at the moon because that'll do it.
The U.S. loves nuking.
And also
I did.
SpaceX.
I love Elon.
I love Elon.
God.
Just be like,
What would Elon
fuck,
do?
fuck Elon Musk. God
I
damn
know,
it.
right?
owner for
Oh,
fucking
God.
SpaceX with it.
Sorry, we kind of interrupted Rob's thoughts. Did you
Yeah.
have any
Damn, man. Dear God, what did I say? Donald Sutherland.
Samuel Tarley.
He was good. I really enjoyed.
No, he did a great
I
job.
really enjoyed his character. We were talking about the whole room-esque kind of thing. So if you've seen The Room, if you haven't seen it, highly
The Brie Larson, The Room.
No, that's Room.
No, that's Room.
Very
Room,
different.
Tommy.
The
Tommy
bad
Wiseau.
movie. Okay.
Yes,
The amazingly bad movie.
There's one scene in there where it's the mother-in-law mentions, "Oh, I got the test results back from the doctor. It's definitely breast cancer." And they don't mention it throughout the rest of the movie. It was kind of like with the mother saying, "Oh yeah, I'm kind of, they didn't say it. They come out and say like,
Yeah,
oh, it's
but she
dementia
suffers
or
from dementia.
something like that." And then they just left it at that. It was supposed to be like a heartwarming kind of
It's a
thing with
disaster
that.
movie.
But
I thought it was
a
just to give
disaster.
his character more like background where you feel sorry for him at first because at first you're
Yeah,
like, this
because
dude's insane.
Because his mom was like the only person that ever believed in him and blah blah blah, blah and all that stuff. So
And his cat.
Per Aldrin was it?
No,
Fuzz
Fuzz
Aldrin. That's it.
Fuzz
That's it.
Aldrin.
What's this deal with cats and space movies?
Hey, I love cats. I love space.
I love
That's all
cats
you
too.
need.
Not the movie. That.
He was-
I love cats. Oh, they're gonna slap that tagline on the Blu-ray box now. I love cats. Brittany Tomes.
Everything is permitted.
Shit.
I went into this movie with next to zero, like below zero expectations. Out of all the movies that I was not looking forward to, and every single movie that I think we've seen during the pandemic, we saw the trailer for this. I'm like, ugh, why? It's like seeing the stupid fucking ambulance trailer.
The trailer
with
was painful.
Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm like, God, I'm like, no, Roland Emmerich, no, why? Stop, like, stop torturing us.
He hates people.
We've
That's
seen
why.
Independence Day 2, why? But
Basically, Independence Day 3 at this point.
no, I mean, God
There's
damn.
less aliens.
Can we take a second and go with? I'm sorry, Julian, with yours, but can we take a second to see how many different tropes of different sci-fi like aspects came into this? We can do this after you.
Oh, no, it was
what
like
you say,
40
Julian.
different.
Oh, I
they
mean,
referenced
that's
so
what
many
makes
films.
It was damn near all it needed was a lightsaber at some point, and we're
Yeah.
complete.
Like I said, the beginning of the movie, like, yeah, it got me. I was pulled in. I was into this. I don't know. Halle Berry, she rocked. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is probably the most unrealistic moment is when the moon is like screwing with the waves and there's literally like a tsunami coming to where the shuttle is supposed to launch. And they're like,
No.
"Oh, do you want to
No.
launch? Do you want to launch a shuttle with 2 engines?" Like, it's not possible. Like, I know, but the moon's going to save us
Yeah.
even though we're trying to kill the moon. And like you said, the VFX budget, like, holy shit. That
When it was
scene
rising out of the water, it was fucking dramatic
It was
as
so
hell.
cool. I was like, how am I liking this movie?
But I hated how the kids were just fucking watching it. I was like, get in the car and
Yeah,
go.
get in the car.
But they were like, no, I got to be here for the camera angle to make sense.
Or the fact at the end where they launched back from the moon and landed in freaking Colorado in a matter of like 5 seconds.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'd rather not do it like
As far as like, I know that we mentioned Donald Sutherland already, but I know like I mentioned to Brittany in the car, I'm like, bold move casting him and making him like such a focus in those trailers, and he's maybe in the movie 2 minutes and is basically talking about offing himself, but he's still like,
still gets paid the same.
I bought it. I really didn't like Samwell until third act. I was like, oh, dude, like you're the dumb kid from Godzilla vs. Kong. Who just like I wanted to get killed by one of those beasts.
It also goes with that nerdy trope where you're just kind of like, we're not like this.
I don't mind.
But
yeah,
it made sense for him being a conspiracy theorist because I'm just like, I do want you to make fun of those people because.
But
it's
I
dangerous.
have to say one of my favorite parts about this movie, and the reason that I think I enjoyed it more than I probably should, is that they didn't do the trope of it being some stupid fucking like gooey multi-armed like alien. The fact that it was us that did this to ourselves, basically, like I thought that was a really cool moment. He didn't go full Roland Emmerich, which I appreciate because he could have gone Goa'uld, he could have gone he could have gone like aliens from Independence Day. There were so many stupid things he could have done, but he made it interesting, and the whole thing about it being like a Dyson sphere inside and kind of being like Halo-esque. I don't know. The third act, like Brittany said, was so wild. I appreciate it. And listen, are there some really bad moments of acting in this movie?
Oh, absolutely.
Totally. Are there some really good moments of acting in this movie?
Yeah.
Shockingly, yes.
The
The main actors were good.
the stuff on the moon is actually what I enjoyed the most.
Yeah,
like,
it was so
like
cool.
the stuff on Earth, like watching it, like I've seen this before. I've seen asteroids hitting stuff. I've seen this. I've seen all this shit.
I think we could all agree that the family shit could have been taken away.
Yeah.
Completely cut.
A lot of that just didn't need to be in there. That's not why we go to see the disaster movies. I do really appreciate that Roland, as much as he hates New York and blows it up in every single one of his movies, specifically did not show the New World Trade Center getting destroyed. I appreciated that as someone who was
He
born
was like,
and
the
raised.
Empire State Building? That motherfucking
Fuck the Chrysler
No, it
building.
wasn't even the Empire State, it was the
it?
Chrysler
Oh,
building.
it was the Chrysler Building.
Chrysler
Never
building
mind.
ended up in
We're
Colorado.
gonna end up the top half of it's gonna be in Colorado by the end of this.
It might as well.
Anyway, I
jump off of that in Spider-Man.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just because we watched probably, I think, one of the very worst. No, I said it. We said this. We agreed.
It was the worst bargain bin
Even if
movie
we
ever.
had not watched that movie and gone to see this week, I think we would have walked out with the same reaction.
Well, this is definitely amongst our bargain bin movies. This is one of my top bargain bin movies we watched just because of how much fun I had.
Yeah. I had fun.
I
and
would
that,
buy it to watch it again with friends or my family
Yeah.
just to be like, you want to see something absolutely ridiculous?
Yeah.
We're going to watch Moonfall.
If I invited you guys
the
over for
budget
like a
was
game
good.
night, right?
Yeah.
And like we decided to make some popcorn and watch a movie. Like, guys, let's just like Mystery Science Theater, like
I'll be like,
Moonfall.
was Die Another Day your favorite James Bond film? Let me show you
Let
Halle
me show
Berry
you
in
me.
another costume. As a kid, it was my favorite.
That's
I
a great
fucking
way
love
to
that
put
movie.
it. But
Dude had diamonds
This
in his
movie
face.
had no business being what it was because it should have been really
Should've
bad.
been
It was better because I know I said this a long time ago about the live action Power Rangers movie, and I will say like the movie was far better than it had any right to be.
I love the Power Rangers movie they did. I'm so bummed they didn't.
But I
do
know
more.
that you so before we get into the bargain bin meter score, I do want to ask, what did everybody put for their cinema score?
I went D.
Oh, shame on you, sir.
Hey, it's okay.
No.
It's a disaster film. You can feel how you
D
feel.
for disaster.
I picked B because 8 out of 10, I would watch it again.
I went C.
I went B. Like,
Fair.
Hey, nobody did that.
We averaged to a C.
It's fair.
Maybe
I think we averaged a B minus there. 2 B's, a D, and a C. That's a B minus.
Thinking about a little bit
C
more,
plus.
I'd say C plus.
Yeah, if you took out the whole family shit and whatnot, cleaned up that third act and whatnot, I would give it a strong C.
Okay.
Maybe a
Yeah,
low-
the sun definitely
B
dragged it down.
minus
Yeah.
and whatnot. Yeah, that family.
I liked
shit,
when he wouldn't talk. He
I
just
didn't
couldn't sell.
need.
Who was he? Related to somebody who directed this or like
Had to be,
worked
right?
on it? Like there was just no way.
The little kid.
The little kid was better.
Yeah.
Can we
Jesus.
also talk about the fact of they're in the family, like Michael Pena,
Yeah.
and all that?
Oh, it is Michael
Michael
Pena.
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 I kind of
They
wish
were-
that he went into one of his Ant-Man speeches. Just
Yeah,
saying.
but I feel like he was trying to branch out and be
They
more
were
serious.
in New York, right? The backdrop was New York. But
Yeah, and then they like, went
was.
to Colorado.
Well, he said that we're going to go to Aspen. Like we got to get to Aspen. Like
But-
when the
so-
moon stuff started to be released.
and that's all fine and dandy and whatnot. But the father was in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
During the car.
Yeah, when the tide
Yeah.
came in and like drowned
no,
the city.
No, with the son
Oh, okay.
stealing the car or being involved with that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Why the hell did she turn around and say, turn on channel 6 when it's completely different? You're in New York and she's in LA.
That's fair,
And you
actually.
turn around
Yeah,
and
I was
say,
trying to think.
"Turn
I was
on
like,
channel
yeah.
How dare this movie about the moon crashing into Earth not have cable
I'm sorry,
correctly?
At first, I thought they were both in LA. Like I didn't even remember. I was like, what
It was
happened to that
clearly
part?
New York in the
No,
background.
no, it's fine. Yeah.
Matt
That makes
said
sense.
what we were all thinking, but I decided not to think about it at the end of the movie because
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit because I'd already suspended my belief so much. But like when the satellite phone rings and it's like,
Yeah.
Yes.
are there any more satellites? And I'm
Yes.
like, there's got to be like 1 or 2 more satellites, right?
But
Luckily,
the
that's the one
entire
satellite
fucking
that
moon was
worked.
in the atmosphere. It's just
They
everything.
freaking took out the Hubble. Come on. Like, dear God.
Anyway,
The James Webb would have made it though.
I do love that they set up a sequel that probably will never get made.
Also, can I
was
say that I
they
still
didn't
don't
even
understand.
need to.
I don't understand how an EMP thing would have killed this dude because an electromagnetic pulse doesn't inherently harm you because it harms electronics. That's its whole purpose.
Yeah, but it can mess up like your heart and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't.
Because like no, like our brain and everything runs like with electrical surges. So like if
I felt like
now, Matt, if right now we had a huge ass fucking EMP in this room, would you want to stand next to it?
I don't care.
Oh my god. Nah, it would have bad effects. I don't know for sure.
Matt's
How
been through
powerful-
military
let's-
stuff. He can't
let's
talk
look it
about.
up.
Well, to me, it's like they never, because I think I don't think they thought about it at all. They basically said it's basically just like a bomb that blows up. It's just an EMP bomb. That's
Kind of, but look
that's
at the
what it does.
Matrix.
But
Like
Look at
high five each
Snowpiercer,
other.
honestly,
Yeah, but guess what? It didn't kill anybody in the Matrix unless you were plugged into the machine.
Okay, fair.
what if? I mean, we don't know what happened during the whole scene. Who knows? Maybe the AI killed him, and as he was pressing the button.
Well, the other thing as well, though, is that, and I thought about this during the movie, and I think this is what they were trying to set up, was because technically the AI probably said to others, "Yo, they're here, like right here. Come to this system,
yeah.
because they're right. This is where, because that's probably what they're setting up. Like, yeah, we need to
Independence Day,
prepare for, because now
Hello.
they're coming.
Just a basic Google search. Can certain types of EMP actually kill you and effectively disable your brain? Example, a lightning strike is one example of an EMP. It can damage you. Nuclear weapon EMP can also damage humans. Hold on, I had another thing. Electromagnetic pulses can cause central nervous system damage and neurobehavioral disorders. So it depends on how powerful it is. Like, I'm sure a small EMP, you'd be like, in Snowpiercer, they felt it, but it didn't hurt them, but a huge one would probably fuck you up.
Let's all agree on one thing that was badass about this movie. Anytime the moon came close to Earth, and I know you were like, oh, it didn't break up the way it should have. Those CG scenes were still badass. Like, it was cool. No?
Radiation.
Radiation.
That's what it comes down to. Just how much radiation it gives off. What's
and
up?
this has been the
moon
Science Minute.
being
The moon.
close to Earth was always like really cool in the movie.
It was like, I feel like visually and the scale was really cool. So like in the trailer, it looked dumb as shit because all you saw was like the moon looming. And the other reason I think the trailer is really dumb is because it just makes you, it doesn't tell you why.
Yeah.
It's just like the moon is suddenly dropping out of orbit and you're like, what the fuck? Did an asteroid collide with it? Like what happened?
Well, it's always funny. I'm not gonna lie. Every time though, the moon would like loom up over the mountains or something. I was
I
like,
know.
is it like a villain coming?
It's like the sun rising.
Oh no!
The movie
It was
is
thematic.
called Moonfall. Guys,
Yeah, all the moon parts are,
wait.
that's all I
I
needed.
got one more. I'm trying to figure out what the date was with it real quick. I can't. Also, I love when I go for Google. Is Google a Moonfall a real movie? There was, what was it? The mission. So the first opening scene. So with the opening scene, thank you. It was back in 2012 or 2011. Okay, so from 2011 up to, let's just say it's 2022. What was going on with the moon where it was just
remember?
like
No,
sitting up there?
they said.
What did they say?
You need the combination of like actual electronics and human. So the minute there were no more humans in space, everything kind of like went back to
Yeah, because
normal.
they shut down all the space program.
Well, he also, like, the thing that I also was like, nobody saw this is in the opening when he sees it, it makes like a Looney Tunes poof into the moon when it starts drilling, and nobody fucking notices this, even though the moon is obviously facing Earth.
But that's also what he told them because he says where it landed in that specific like region too. Like it's hard scale wise. Like you would think, if somebody's looking at a telescope or actually keeping readings of it, they would have seen it. But their whole massive
other thing
cover up
with-
is the thing.
And people do watch the moon
Because they could have said like,
daily
oh,
and
debris
nightly.
from the thing hit.
But
the
do you know
moon.
how
I
many
don't know.
fucking micro asteroids hit the moon every single day? It's like
Yeah, but it was like a
crazy
tornado
amount.
though, grinding into the
Yeah.
moon.
But
It wasn't,
NASA
and they
could
didn't.
pay off people.
And you could say like, all right, it drilled in really quickly, but they didn't establish that. And
It's a disaster movie.
no, I agree that like
Yeah, no,
any
it is a
changes in
disaster
moon
movie.
trajectory would be picked up by like thousands of different. We're always constantly scanning like the space and the solar system. So
Let's bust out the old faithful bargain bin meter score. Rob, as our guest, do you know the bargain? Do you need to be reacquainted? It goes from Best Buy or full price.
do you want me to do it? Because I always remember.
Yes, please.
So at the top tier, you got full price, then you got Best Buy, then you got Walmart, then you got Dollar Store, then you got garage sale.
Don't forget the seventh layer of hell with the cats. You're welcome. Macavity out. Boom. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to go with Walmart.
All right.
I'm upping my score a little bit. I don't see it being a trashy dollar store movie and whatnot.
No.
Would I watch it again if it was on cable or something like that and I was absolutely bored or something like that? Sure. Why the hell not? I would not. I can't see me paying 20, 25. I don't even know how much movies are because I don't even buy anything anymore. But
Depends on where you shop.
He's like, I
Yeah.
stream.
but I can't see myself paying $20-$25 for the DVD. And I know Matt's just waiting to get that sweet steelbook of Moonfall.
You joke,
You
sir.
joke, but I literally said in the theater,
Yep.
I was like,
It's-
can't wait for the steelbook.
It's on
It's
pre-order.
funny enough, they might not, because they didn't even do a steelbook for Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah. It's just regular release. Because I saw it at Best Buy today when I had to pick something up.
Well, they probably combined it all into 3.
Yeah.
They were really driving getting the 3
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
completely skipped the reboot movie, which is shameful, by the way, because it's a good movie.
No, it's not. Sorry. Anyway, go.
No, it's really not.
For me, it's a full price Best Buy. I would buy it again to watch with my family and just to own, so that if it ever came up in conversation again, I'll be like, this thing was so ridiculous. Nobody went to see it. Do you want to watch it right now? And I would watch it again. But yeah, it's that 8 out of 10 rating for me because just the bad family plotline and acting and the fact that the moon's mass. He has this whole thing where he tells them, one, objects always drop towards Earth based on gravity at 9.8 meters per second squared, so just everything was bullshit. But on top of that, the fact that, like, he was claiming the moon to be a hollow, but also to have more mass than they previously thought when they thought it was just a planet without any of these mega structures inside. I get because maybe it has a small white dwarf in there that the mass would be different, but at the same time, it can't both be hollow and heavier.
Right.
Like, just pick one or the other.
I said the
Yeah.
same thing. I was because when he said like, oh,
Yeah.
you miscalculated.
He was like,
its
you didn't
mass, it's
calculate
heavier."
for the metal and the dwarf, but then you don't know what type of metal it is. So how do you actually know how to approximate the weight?
we don't exactly know how much a white dwarf
And
weighs.
the thing is, mass is just based on size. So, like,
Yeah.
you know the size of the moon, so that's why Anyway, I'm moving on.
Everything is science here.
Don't forget
Don't look
the
too
weight
hard at the
of
science.
spaceships that were in there as well.
The weight of the actual being itself that was floating around there.
Or his ability to Tom Cruise Top Gun pilot a Chinese lunar lander.
Badass. Loved it.
Hey.
Go ahead,
Especially after those, like, enhanced thrusters he got.
Matt. We got an upgrade.
We
Souped
got-
up
oh my
AI suit.
God. I'm so when they said that about like, we got an upgrade. I want to be like, God
Yo,
damn
it
it!
was
Somebody
like-
wrote that.
It was like Keanu Matrix flying. That's
Yeah.
what I felt. I was like, we have hacked everything. We've unlocked the Matrix powers.
Hack
We're-
the planet. Hack the
planet.
moon. Hack the moon.
That's what this should be called. Hack
So
the
wait,
moon.
is the guy still in like touch with like the moon, like the OS of the moon now?
Yeah, because
the guy
he's
whose
basically a
consciousness
part of
was
it.
uploaded?
Is he-
Yeah.
He's a part of it.
Yep.
It's,
He
it's
literally
canon.
said, you're a
He's
part of
not
the moon
alive
now.
anymore, but his consciousness isn't alive
So he
inside
should
of it.
still feel the
Like Black Mirror.
conscience of the of Samwell. We're just gonna keep calling him Samwell.
You know what?
I don't
Tonight,
what
when
it
I
is.
look up at the moon, I will think of Samuel Tarley.
Matt, your bargain bin meter score.
I'm also gonna go with Rob's and say Walmart. It's definitely better than it had any right to be. The family subplot like just was like a boat anchor around this, and I know.
Ironically, lots of boats were thrown.
Yeah, and also I know that you gotta suspend, but like certain things, just because I know how certain things work in this world,
Like
like
physics.
Like,
basic
when the
physics.
shuttle was launching, it's like, oh, we're losing. Like, it's a solid rocket booster. It just keeps burning. Like, as soon as you light it, that thing just goes. It doesn't suddenly lose power like a fucking jet engine. But like stuff like that, I was kind of like, it kind of took me out. But that's because, as I said, I've loved the space shuttles. Like I loved them since I was a kid. I love
Elon.
Yeah, and fuck that.
Oh my God,
fuck
those
that
lines
line. Like
twice.
somebody whoever wrote that line needed to be punched in
No,
the face.
some of the script was rough.
yeah, it was real rough.
There were even sometimes that Hallie would say something, and I'm like, "Damn, girl, you're really trying to sell this line."
Yeah, and then some of the product placement also. I said the Lexus thing. Just I seriously was just like the 2022
I loved all
Lexus.
the vague billboards. Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
That just said like one thing. Had two people on it.
Wasn't it like something like
It's like Kaspersky,
yeah.
which is like the systems they were using.
But yeah, Walmart. I'll give it Walmart. You know, above average to average. It's if you want a cheap popcorn movie to watch with friends and just kind of go, what the fuck, this will do.
It's true. I ate a lot of popcorn while
You
watching
did.
that movie. I was like, this is fucking great.
all the popcorn.
I'm I'm just gonna say, I really like this movie. I
Full price. Oh god.
It
no.
was so
Listen, I like.
great.
Is it a good movie? I don't know. Is it really fucking fun? Yeah. And do you go to the movies like fucking Nicole Kidman reminds us every time we go to AMC? Yeah, it was wicked fun.
This is the movie Nicole was talking about when
is.
she sits down and she's like, this.
I had
An
fun.
experience,
And am I going
100
to
more.
buy probably what's going to be a really badass steelbook cover if they make it? I'm buying the steelbook. I just am.
I hope it's just the moon looming over the
Listen, Roland Emmerich did
It's just a white moon, and that's the cover. Like, God damn it, this sucks.
Damn it.
Or it's
Anyway.
like him screaming in the light.
I feel no shame for enjoying this movie.
So are you going full price, Best Buy? Or?
Yeah, steelbook, baby. I'm buying the steelbook.
It's arguably one of Owlman's best roles.
Yeah.
He will always be Owlman to me.
Anyway.
He's Ed Warren to me
Warren.
because of the Conjuring
Yeah,
movies.
love those movies. Guys, we are way over time.
Yeah.
We are going to call it a night. This was a lot of fun. This was a great episode.
May the moon set upon
May
our
the moon
podcast.
set upon our podcast. We'll be back with more Snowpiercer next week and a few other things. Who knows what we're doing next week?
By the
yet.
power of the moon,
There'll
we
be
will punish
something.
you.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Brittany got it.
I got it.
That's gonna do it for this week's episode. For Rob, for Brittany, for Matt, I am Julian. I say to you, have a good night.
You can find Everything is Permitted on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Everything is Permitted is produced by Rob Migliaccio, Nikki Veazey, and Geneva Stein-Shivers. Our executive producers are Michael Cox, Brittany Tomes and the Tomes family, and Julian Brown.